Is it just me, or do you ever look back and realize you were in love with processed food? Like, you didn't just like it, you actually romanticized it. I used to think about food the way people think about vacations. It was my escape, my comfort, and all my excitement. And breaking that attachment, learning to stop romanticizing processed food, was one of the hardest and most freeing parts of my weight loss journey so far. But it didn't happen overnight. It took a complete mindset shift. And that's what I'm going to share with you today. What I learned, what I had to let go of, and what changed once I finally stopped making food the main character in my story. Let's be honest. Processed food feels magical. The colors, the crunch, the smell when you open the bag, that little dopamine hit before it even touches your tongue. It's all designed to make you fall in love. So it's not your fault if it feels like food has this power over you. It literally is engineered to hook you. I used to build my whole day around it. I would think about what I was going to eat hours before I ate it. The next treat, the next meal, the next cheat, the next reason to celebrate. Food was my entertainment. It was a reward. It was a comfort. And honestly, it felt good until it didn't. Because what I thought was comfort was actually control. The turning point for me came after I had another late night binge, and I remember sitting there and there was empty food wrappers, my stomach was full, uncomfortable, and bloated, and I had absolute zero peace about me. And I thought, how did I end up here again? I would tell myself I deserve this, or it's just one time, but it wasn't just one time. It was a pattern, one that felt like love, but was actually destroying me. And that night, it hit me. I wasn't eating because I needed food. I was eating because I missed how food made me feel. It was nostalgia. It was comfort. It was the closest thing I had to happiness at the time, which I know is sad. Then I realized I didn't just have a food addiction. I had a relationship with food that needed to end. And like any breakup, it got messy before it got better. Really messy. Processed food used to be my best friend. It never judged me. It was always there. And it made me feel good instantly. But it also kept me sick, obese, tired, and emotionally trapped. And here's the part that not hardly anyone talks about. When you stop eating that stuff, it's not just your body that detoxes, your mind does too. You start realizing how much you used food to avoid your feelings, to fill time, to reward yourself for surviving the day. That realization really hurts. But it's also the first step towards real freedom. Because you can't heal something you keep romanticizing. So here's what I did, and I want to share it with you. Shift number 1. The first thing that I had to do was get brutally honest. Processed food wasn't love. It was manipulation. It gave me pleasure, but stole my energy and my confidence, and most importantly, my health. When I finally saw it for what it was, a chemical trap and not real food, I stopped craving it the same way. I missed it at first, don't get me wrong, but I could see it clearly. It wasn't comfort. It was control. And every time I choose real food instead, I was choosing me. Shift number 2. Got to replace that high. Here's the thing. You can't just take away the thing that gives you dopamine and replace it with nothing. That's a real recipe for relapse. So I had to find new ways to get that same feel-good hit, but in a healthy way. So walking outside, listening to music. Oh, I love to color. So coloring while listening to music. moving my body in any way I could think of. Biking, hiking, walking, and connecting with people instead of isolating myself. The same way I used to plan food, I started planning feel-good habits. That's when I started healing for real. Because you can't remove an addiction, you have to replace it. Okay, that sounded bad because you're not replacing one addiction really for another. You just have to replace it with a good habit. So, anyway, back to this. Remember why I started. When the cravings came, and trust me, they came hard, I had to remind myself why I started. Did I want a 5-minute sugar rush, or did I want a lifetime of energy, confidence, and peace? And the truth, most of the time, it wasn't about the food at all. It was about the emotions. Loneliness, boredom, stress, exhaustion. The list goes on and on and on. Once I learned to name what I was actually feeling, I didn't need the food to fix it. That's where freedom just really begins. And this is exactly what I talk about inside the community. We go deep into that emotional side of food addiction, learning how to stop using food for comfort, start building habits that actually bring peace and energy. And the best part, we are doing it together, because I know how hard it is to break these patterns, but I also know it's possible. So if you're ready to stop romanticizing food and start building real freedom, join that waitlist. I put the link in the description. Because food shouldn't be your favorite part of life. Life should be. You know what's crazy? Once I stopped romanticizing processed food, my whole world got brighter. Really, it's like my taste buds just woke up. My energy came back, and my emotions felt real again and not buried under chemicals and guilt. I started craving color in my food. The rainbow. My surroundings, my life. I felt like I was living the rainbow in all aspects of my life. And that's when I realized I wasn't losing anything by giving up processed food. I was gaining my life back. So, if you're still in that space, if food still feels like your best friend, your comfort, your thing, I get it. But start being honest with yourself. Ask, what am I expecting food to do for me that it never actually does? Because once you see it for what it is, you can finally choose something better. And I promise you, real food, real peace, real energy, it's better than any sugar high you've ever had. And don't forget, grab my free 5-step roadmap to food freedom. It is the perfect starting point if you're ready to let go of food controlling your life and start taking your power back. That link is in the description. And drop a comment and tell me, what's one processed food that's been the hardest for you to let go of? Because trust me, we've all got one. And until our next conversation, stay kind to yourself, eat like you love yourself, and keep going. You are doing better than you think. Bye for now.